Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly oracle card reading. And for this reading, I'm using the Conscious Spirit Oracle cards by Dreyer. And I love how colorful the backs of these cards are. I think they're so beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing 3 cards, and each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. So we'll start with the first card, which is Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so we have, actually I'm just going to zoom in a little here. We've got a nurturing heart mother, and this card says, I'm a protective spirit and reach out to all life with love and compassion. So there's this feeling of, I'm getting this feeling of nurturing at the beginning of the week, and I think it's going to be important for us to really nurture ourselves and also be nurturing to other people, but really kind of to tap into that nurturing part of ourselves. And if there's some kind of project you're working on, some kind of creative project or something, it's important to nurture that project. And I want to talk a little bit about what nurturing actually is and what it means. So when you nurture something, you take care of that thing without expectations. So you don't have high expectations for something necessarily. You're just looking after something. And you're going to be giving that something kind of the necessities, not just the necessities that it needs for survival, but even more like what it needs to thrive. So when you think about nurturing yourself, it's not about, eating and sleeping. Like, those are the basics. This is about giving yourself what you need in order to thrive and be your happiest and your healthiest. So, that might be, you might need really good organic food and lots of time outside moving around and time with good friends and, time reading books that make you happy or, things like that. Those are ways that you can nurture yourself. And when you think about nurturing another person or, when you're nurturing another person, not only are you going to look after them, but you're going to encourage them and give them encouragement and upliftment and things like that. And I'm just thinking about, like when you're nurturing a child or something like that. And if you're nurturing like a relationship, again, this isn't just about doing the basics to keep that relationship afloat. It's about kind of going that extra step and really taking care of something with love. And you do it out of love and this desire to nurture, not out of like an expectation that if you do this, then, this will happen or whatever. So moving on to the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday, we have abundance. And this card says, one thing that's kind of nice about these cards, they have little affirmations on the bottom that you can read to yourself. So it says, I'm grateful for the abundance nature and the universe provide in my life. And so this theme of the middle of the week is about abundance. And even though I just said when you nurture, you do it without expecting anything, what you'll find is that when you nurture things, you get abundance that just comes naturally. And I'm thinking of, specifically of gardening and my garden, and how, if I give my stuff, good fertilizer and water it every day and look after it, then, I do get a really abundant harvest. And it's always kind of shocking how abundant nature can be, like how you quite often get way more than you need from nature. I have this cherry tree this year that produced so many cherries. I had people coming over and picking them. I picked some. My whole freezer is full of cherries, and there's still lots of cherries on the tree that didn't get picked because they're too high up. But it always kind of shocks me how abundant nature is, and I feel like abundance is actually like a really natural state. Only part of the time though, because nature is really only abundant at times of the year. It's not abundant all the time. And I think that's an important thing to remember as you go through your life, and as you have certain expectations and desires for abundance here and there. Remind yourself that it's not natural to be abundant all the time. it's not normal to be abundant in all areas of your life all the time. And, there's these cycles. But this card is coming up this week because you are going to feel abundant this week. And if you don't feel abundant this week, focus on how you can feel abundant and times in your life when you have been abundant, and areas that you may not be noticing in which you are abundant in, which you just maybe have taken for granted or don't really notice on a day-to-day basis. But essentially there's this theme of overflowing, and it's really beautiful. So there's this theme of overflowing this week, and when you are so abundant and have so much, it's nice to be able to share and give to others. And and share that kind of sense of overflowing that you'll have. And then at the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, wow, this card is really yellow. This is so golden and shiny. It's like the sun. This is the solar plexus chakra card, and it says, I take actions daily that awaken my personal power. So this is actually kind of an interesting card to get here at the end. The solar plexus chakra, it's right kind of basically your stomach, where your stomach is, your upper belly kind of, just kind of below your chest where your rib cage is. And the solar plexus chakra is kind of the seat of power. And this is really kind of the center of your body. Well, actually, no, I guess the true center might be your heart in terms of the chakras. But physically, this is kind of like the middle part of your body. And this is where your power resides. This is where your power is. If you get issues with this area of your body, so if you get stomach aches, which actually I've been getting stomach aches lately. If you're getting stomach aches, stomach cramps, digestion issues, stuff like that, or even like nervous tension in your abdomen, it can be a sign that you're not using your personal power in the right way. It could be that you're not acting from a place of power, so maybe people are stepping on your boundaries and you're not standing up for them, or you're just having a really hard time with boundaries, or you're having a hard time stepping into your power and acting from that place of power and feeling powerful. It could also mean that you're abusing power and that you're kind of doing the exact opposite, where you're using your power in kind of a not so great way, or you're maybe taking advantage of someone, or so I feel like this weekend is a good time to do some work on that spot, that solar plexus chakra, or even just issues around power, issues to do with power. And one nice way to actually clear this chakra is to imagine like a golden sun being in your body and kind of shining out through the chakra. And you kind of work that into, if you do a meditation that day, kind of work in that visualization of kind of breathing into your solar plexus chakra, and then as you breathe out, imagine that sun glowing brighter and brighter. And that just that visualization helps kind of clear any blockages or anything like that that might be happening there. Okay, so I'm going to quickly look at these cards together. And I just see a really nice kind of shifting in energy. There's this calm, kind of nurturing quality at the beginning of the week. Middle of the week, it's a little more busier. There's kind of more things going on, more movement, more flow, but it's really wonderful and it's positive, and there's that, feeling of abundance. But then when you get to the end of the week, I feel like this is more about working on ourselves. This is about our issues, mainly to do with power and boundaries. We're going to be spending more energy kind of working on ourselves at the end of the week. And the end of the week is when maybe some issues might come up. So that's been your weekly oracle card reading. I hope you found this reading helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and you might want to check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I've got lots of fun stuff on my website. I've got spreads, I've got exercises, quizzes, blog posts, videos, all kinds of stuff, deck reviews. So check it out if you're interested. I'm going to put the link in the About section below, and have a wonderful week.